Well, what's interesting about it is that we didn't know it was going to speak so much to the current moment. We started like hard prep, which means we had our crew on the ground, we were building the sets, we were doing all those things in November of 2022. And ChatGPT came out to the public in November of 2022. Of course, we didn't realize this until January when we stopped filming the movie because we were just like in the bubble of making the film, not paying attention to the rest of the world. And so to come out of this set telling this story about AI, which at the time was science fiction, to then emerge into a world where I can talk to AI on my cell phone was completely surreal and bizarre. And then when obviously like the labor issues started happening, whether it's within Hollywood or UPS or now the UAW, that just got even more surreal. So it's like, I don't know, I guess like life reflects art and art reflects life. But in this case, they were like converging and still are. And it's very strange. There's a long history of comedic actors doing really just powerful dramatic turns. I think two of the greatest examples are Jim Carrey and Robin Williams. And I produced this movie called I Love My Dad that Rel is in, which is a comedy. And I saw the seriousness with which he approached his comedy and just his work in general, and just had in the back of my mind, like, I really want to make a dramatic film with this actor. And then when I read this script, he was the only person I could picture. He was the very first actor that I pictured, and we got really lucky that he read it and related to it and felt the themes were as universal as I did and as the rest of our team did. And so, you know, working with him was interesting because he's a very detail-oriented actor. And so we talked through every single detail of the way we were going to shoot everything. And we had a really good approach. I knew we got to know each other really well. I think he was attached to the movie for about 4 months before we started shooting. Why I tell you about all this prep work is because once we started shooting, he became Joe. And it honestly, like, between how real the set was that we built and between how real Rel's performance was and between how Rel became Joe and was reacting to the circumstances in there in this very real way, it was like shooting a documentary. I've made documentaries in addition to narrative films, and it was like a documentary with art direction. It was unlike any other experience I've ever had working with an actor. I hope that this is, first and foremost, I want this to be a really entertaining, thrilling movie that people can watch and have a good experience. But, you know, my lofty ambitions for it are that it makes people feel the same way I felt the first time I watched The Matrix. Like, I wanted to change my life after watching The Matrix. And I hope that similarly people can look at this and want to, you know, break those systems that are treating them unfairly, whether that's a relationship, whether that's their job, whatever it is. I think that we all see times where we're giving more to something than we're getting back from it. And I hope that people examine those circumstances in their own lives. As far as storytelling, continuing this story is concerned, like, yeah, there's a lot more stories to tell in this world. And I also have a completely insane idea for taking this to the stage. I think it could be really interesting to actually have an actor acting against an AI. So we would have like an AI Mallard that was reacting in real time to an actor. So they're like improvising. It's a dialogue between man and machine. And seeing as this is all in one location, I think you could actually do it.